situation, it was a KCCA matter. And the KCCA matter is handled at KCCA. The thing you're talking about collusion, no, there wasn't any issue raised about collusion because I've had several issues about corruption. Maybe there was corruption, there was what? If such a matter was brought to our attention, definitely would engage, would start intervening in that matter. But this was about what KCCA has done in its powers, passing resolutions, versus what the Lord Mayor and his executive have done regarding this matter. So we thought that this matter should be handled at that level. But at least what I wanted to make very, very clear, abundantly clear, is that everything that has been done at Nachivubo started once General Museveni gave a directive and the minister of Kampala communicated it. It started with council. I've said, was there any movement at that point? Council is dominated by the National Interplatform. But I've told you that whatever was done did not play oversight in trying to address the problem in time. I've said, and I think maybe let me explain this for the last time. One, the councillors should have done more consultation on this matter. Clearly, this was both a political and legal matter. They should have done more consultation, and we communicated that very, very strongly to the council, to the councillors. Number two, we read the resolution and asked ourselves, is this resolution what the people are trying to make it? And we find that it is actually not. Because what they were saying is KCA should partner with credible and able local investors to develop and upgrade the city drainage under the supervision, approval, and guidance of KCCA. So we said, yes, you should have done more consultation, but at least your resolution clearly said that the law should be followed. Now, whatever was done, or whatever is being done in Nachivubo, has ignored even the resolution. I also must remind you that when they started holding the place illegally, council again sat. When they sat, this time around, they clearly indicated that they were, first of all, unaware of whatever was going on. This was on 25th August 2025. But of significant importance is that council on that 25th of August made a resolution to stop whatever was going on. There's a resolution of council. So those who are saying that council has a lot of powers, please, there's even a resolution of the council, which was clearly saying that whatever was going on must stop immediately. It was ignored. Okay. Because, why? Because there was a presidential directive. The Physical Planning Committee of KCCA, the Building Control Committee, the Department of Engineering, Physical Planning, and all those were completely ignored. You know, and at some point you remember them saying that they went and tried to even supervise, and there were goons who attacked them and blocked them from accessing the area. The MPs tried to access that area, they would not be allowed to proceed there. Which really tells you... From your heart of hearts, yeah. Is NUP clean on the matter of Nachivubo? Absolutely. I mean, what do you mean? NUP is made of individuals. For example, at the party level, I've told you this matter was brought to us much later, and we took the action we could take. The councillors, you'll host them one of these days, and they tell you, for us, they gave us their defense, because what we tried to ask them, because we wanted to know, is anything that these councillors did, was it fatal? Was it something that, you know, because, we had people saying maybe there was corruption involved in this matter, there was this, and we waited for any evidence, for any iota of evidence. It did not come through. And I can challenge you here and challenge everybody who's watching us, if there's any evidence. What if there is? If it is there, we shall take action. You know how we deal with corrupt people in NUP. If anybody brings evidence against any of our leaders, be it councillors or whoever, you'll see the kind of action we'll take. That's absolutely no question. If any evidence of that nature is brought, we shall take action. But for me, from my standpoint, what's headlining now is that there was complicity between Ham, the developer, and your councillors. I've told you that, and I would love everybody to read this, resolution and see. I've told you they could have done more consultation, because there are some resolutions which, in our view, are problematic, the way they were stated and all that. But at the bottom of it, the resolution was saying, KCA can partner with local and other investors to develop the drainage system in Kampala, but it must be done within the law. We all know that there has been a problem. There's a problem with drainage in Kampala. True or false? It is there. You go to and check out all these drainages and find there's a lot of garbage packed in there. You know, the catchment areas, the few catchment areas that are there are full of garbage and all that. They do not do desilting the way they should be doing it as regularly as possible, especially ahead of the heavy rains and all that. So there is a problem. And what these councillors were saying, let's address the problem of drainage in Kampala. But it must be done in conjunction.
Yesterday, we hosted the Lord Mayor here, and he said, he expressed his disappointment that you were not able, at least to courteously get back to him, to resolve the problem. Do you realize, in a way, there could have been maybe negligence on your part?
No, I've told you that this was not a party matter, per se. Because you see, when our members of parliament, for example, are doing their work in parliament, the party does not come in to say, if someone has been appointed to be a chairperson of a committee, for example, we do not come out to direct them on how they should do their work in COSASE, in whatever, in the local government accounts committee, etc., etc. It is their duty, it is their role. The LOP sits with the members of parliament, guides them. Rarely does the party come in. The party only comes in when there is a red flag raised, especially about corruption.
This was a very controversial matter that pitted some of your councillors on the side of the Lord Mayor. Semufu, for instance, and two others.
The Lord Mayor did not say, the Lord Mayor did not tell me or to tell the party that he had either tried to convene a meeting and failed, because he's the political head at KCCA.
Okay, in terms of political responsibility, who is liable?
If you talk about political responsibility, it is actually General Museveni and all those who work under him. Because he's the one who gave a directive that gave away the channel. Museveni, after giving that directive, the minister moved to implement it. Then KCCA, the ED and others, the technical wing, found themselves unable to deal with this matter when it had now become a directive from above. And
but it had been endorsed by resolution number 7.
Have you seen?
Resolution number 7, ambiguous as it was.
No, actually, resolution number 7 they're talking about, read it for the people, because it talks about guidance, approval, and supervision of KCCA.
We have it. We are actually going to display
so the question
it in
is,
a few.
Was that done?
KCCA partners with credible and able local investors within their respective areas to develop and upgrade the city drainage system under the guidance, approval and supervision of KCCA in view of the fact that funding from the central government and donors was declining. And upon this, the Lord Mayor was very quick to raise a red flag.
Are you telling me that Museveni acted on this?
The Lord Mayor thought he had been betrayed by council, so he had to run to the party headquarters, who would, in essence, try to fix.
So tell me something here. What is wrong with this resolution? When you read it,
it is vague.
The point I'm making is, it is very clear that whatever is done must be under the guidance, approval, and supervision of KCCA. Number 2, we all agree that there's a problem with drainage in Kampala, and that the drainage in Kampala should be developed and upgraded. That is a given. That is why I've told you there is a Kampala drainage master plan in place, which the regime has refused blatantly to fund. At some point, they were looking for 700 billion to be able to develop the drainage channel. And, you know, even not for the entire place, because they are focusing on LBG, to try and really deal with the question of flooding in Kampala.
Mr. Bongoya, at the end of the day, having realized that actually someone could have manipulated that resolution to their advantage, why would you go ahead to reward the councillors? Take, for instance, Zara Ruika, the Speaker of Council, was rewarded despite the wrongdoings. She was rewarded with a seat in Makindye East, a flag.
You see, Simon, I've told you that, you know, there's something called fair hearing. There's an opportunity to be heard. I've told you when this matter was brought to our attention as a party, we summoned these councillors and they gave in their defense. In their defense, they brought the resolution. And they explained each of these points in their resolution and why they made those resolutions. And what I can say is, we told them that this was a very sensitive matter where you should have done more consultation. However, the question was, is this fatal? And they made it clear that in their wisdom, they thought that, first of all, there is need to upgrade the drainage in Kampala, but it has to be done under the guidance approval of KCCA. Number two, we told them that now that this resolution is being manipulated, and this is a very, very important point, you must immediately, that was after the place was being hoarded, we said you must immediately go and undo this, which they undid on the 25th of August through their resolution. This resolution was stopping. First of all, they say Council condemns the action of cordoning off Nachivubo drainage channel without adhering to due process, in particular the provisions of the Physical Planning and Building Committee, and in contravention of Resolution 6 and 7 of the committee report as presented and adopted by Council. They went ahead to say that, so this was on the 9th of April when this resolution was passed. Then in August, after HAM, went ahead to cordon off the place, to hold that place, they had made another resolution clearly saying that...
That was intellectual dishonesty of the highest order. Having cleared, having cleached the deal,
so how
they are now trying to make clean. They are now trying to make good.
But when you read this resolution, how did they clear? See, that's what I don't understand. I mean, you need to be very honest yourself. Because this is written in black and white. When the KCCA says that everything done must be with the approval, supervision, and guidance of KCCA, and the KCCA wakes up the following day and finds that there is a hoarding of the place, and the military has been deployed there. I do not understand how anyone can say they gave away this place, then there was hoarding and all that. No. Well, I've made it very clear. They should have...
NUP is a promoter of the court of public opinion.
Yeah.
In the court of public opinion, the National Interplatform and its councillors are guilty.
But the court of public opinion must work with facts. The facts are being presented to them, the facts are there. Don't judge the public opinion based on some NRM propagandists and regime apologists. Like I said, I saw the minister for Kampala, Mr. Kabanda, trying to distance herself from this mess. She did not know that her letters would make it to the public. They eventually made it to the public.
Is it a case of collective guilt?
Now,
everyone now takes political responsibility,
everybody at
including
KCCA,
yourself.
No, I've told you that the party, this was a matter at KCCA. We do not, when we assign people responsibilities, unless if a red flag is raised about corruption, about someone, and when evidence is brought to us, we immediately take action, which is why I've challenged you to bring any evidence of that nature to show that there was that collusion. Because these people, we summoned them, and they explained themselves. And they told us that the whole focus was that first of all, they gave us the genesis of this matter, that every time when it rains heavily, there's flooding in Kampala. The Kampala drainage master plan has not been implemented because the regime keeps saying there's no money for that, even when we know that there's a lot of money which they waste on unnecessary things which should be used for this purpose. They said that because of that, they thought that KCCA mentioned the specific, in this particular resolution number 7, they said the KCCA can partner with local investors who are able to partner with it, but whatever must be done must be under the supervision of KCCA, which was eventually ignored. Now,
And what more action would the public expect?